about cryptocurrency, to invest in it. I told him, I am open to invest in it. But there are two things. Number one, there's a lot of fraud in crypto. And the way crypto works is, and also take advantage of innovations, new things that are happening, understand it. Don't cross your hand and say, well, I don't know what is going on. You'll be left behind. What did you do?
That was why some of you might see people like us pushing in terms of the cryptocurrency aspect of what digital economy. I told you guys about agriculture. Because I want us to pray a prayer that's going to help us now.
So, invest in innovations. And as I talk to you here, I will tell you one area that is very effective in the...
This is Kingdom Updates TV, a channel for believers who are hungry for truth, depth, and spiritual clarity. What you're about to hear may change your prayer life forever. Listen carefully.
May the Lord give you understanding.
What are the signs we should see in order to know how we need to order our lives? And so Jesus began to read the signs. And he said to them from verse 4, he said, take heed that no man deceive you. And so the first thing that you will notice is the great deception. And so in the last days, one of the assets a believer must have is discernment. If all you have is money in an account and cars that you drive, you are very poor. Because one of the things that will invade the earth realm in the last days are great deceptions. And these deceptions don't just float in the wind. The Bible said there will be captains that will herald this deception. For he said, many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. So many people will be deceived. And so if you are walking on the face of the earth in the last day, what you should try to do is not to fall into the quadrant of the many that will be deceived. That means only few will have the rich asset of discernment in the last day. There will be many who possess cars and lands, but there will be few that have discernment. And so he said, many will be deceived. Now, one of the things you need to focus on as you grow as a Christian is how to master the life that is on your inside. Mastery of the life within is the power of the ages to come. If you don't know how to interact with that life, master its operation, and on the strength of the discernment you build from that life, begin to order your step, you are a victim waiting to happen. And so Jesus told us the first sign of the last day is the great deception. Number 2, he said, and there you shall hear of wars and rumors of war. It says, see that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet come. And so the second sign you will notice in the last day is anxiety and trouble. Fear of the unknown. And the reason people will be troubled and anxious is because they lack spiritual understanding. The war is not the sign. It is the trouble and the trauma that the sons of men will start walking in that will show you. Now, when the medical guys went out, they mentioned it, but you will just know that one of the greatest things you will meet is high blood pressure. People are just afraid. They are afraid. Terror is everywhere. The terror can manifest in form of war, but the fear is the sign that we're in the last day. That means people no longer have spiritual understanding. When people begin to tap into spiritual understanding, nothing can move them. They become like Mount Zion. Like the psalmist said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. And so when you find a generation where people start living in fear and terror, which is born out of their lack of spiritual knowledge, you know that you are at the end times. Today, people brag with secular knowledge. I have a master's degree in anatomy. I have a doctorate degree in cyber technology. And then you ask him, what do you know about the spirit life? He doesn't even know the voice of God. But when he starts to speak, he brings and churns out heaps and heaps of paper that he calls certificates. And he wants to do business when spirits are involved. Now, there's nothing wrong in schooling. At least some of you who are here, you know we've schooled. We've schooled, but we understand Keda in spiritual realities. That secular knowledge is nothing compared to spiritual knowledge. Secular knowledge can put food on your table when there is no crisis. But spiritual knowledge can take you even beyond time. When time is accomplished, you will still stand. And so Jesus was revealing to us that in the last days, men will not have spiritual understanding. And because they will not have spiritual understanding, every physical crisis that happens will set them off. And they will begin to live in fear and in anxiety. And then he went to the third part and he read for us the third sign. He said, for nations shall rise against nations, kingdom against kingdoms, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes and in diverse places. And he said, this is the beginning of sorrows. What a prophecy. This is the beginning of sorrows. Now, the reason I'm teaching this is to help us understand spiritual arsenals that will give us an advantage in the crisis that is to come. Because if you don't know these things, you will build your confidence on the mundane. But these things Jesus is listing, they will sweep off every investment you have in the natural. Imagine if you were in Ukraine and you invested. Now, let me give a balance before I say what I want to say. Invest in real estate if you have money. Invest in gold if you have money. Anything that is not affected by inflation or deflation, invest in it. There's no kind of inflation that will affect land. Inflation does not affect gold. And also, take advantage of innovations. New things that are happening. Understand it. Don't cross your hand and say, well, I don't know what is going on. You will be left behind. You will become obsolete. Somebody came to me the other day and was talking to me about cryptocurrency, to invest in it. I told him, I am open to invest in it. But there are two things. Number one, there's a lot of fraud in crypto. And the way crypto works is, meet those who are influential, get them to invest and get them to publicize it, so that the gullible people will rush into it. When they now rush into it and the coin appreciates, the whales will cash out. I say, I'm a man of God. My conscience can't bear it. So I cannot get people to invest in something and then when the money grows, me, I now cash out and leave my followers that God allowed influence to get them follow me to become victims. That will make me a wolf in sheep clothing. And so I said, before we talk about investment and publicity, what are the structures around it? Because before I invest, I need to know who is the developer. And if I know the developer, we must have a structure where the whales cannot pull out. If the whales can't pull out, then we know that this coin will last. That time, we can now begin to talk investment. Because when I finish from earth, I will appear in heaven. And God will ask me, what did you do with the influence I gave you? I will now say I used it to increase my cryptocurrency value. You will go to her. Now, why did I say that? I'm not against it. I invest in it. But I will never front it and I will not preach it until I meet a developer who has a structure where whales can pull out. That time I know anybody who is investing will gain. So that we who are the first who enter will not pull out. And our disciples that we lured in will now suffer. That's fraud. Are we together? In the last days, it's called cyber security. And you will know. In the days to come, if you don't invest in cyber security, if you don't invest in agriculture, you'll be in trouble. Because you will see some of the things Jesus listed. Even famine is involved.
I told you guys, for those of you that have been here since 2019 and 2020, 2021, remember I told you a prophecy that I see sheep. I see where they planted a sheep in a man. How many of you are here? Please, I want to have witnesses. Yeah. Was there? She to witness it. So I gave a prophecy that there was going to be sheep. They are going to put sheep in human head. This was when they were not even thinking about it. Then I saw it, I shared it. And they have tested the first sheep in a human head. And it's working. Now, I also told you guys in that 2019, 2020, that I see robots. Machines were police. Yeah, now it has started. This is 2019 prophecies. We that are believers will be chased out. This too will happen. We will hide ourselves in caves. Yeah, I said it too. These ones are yet to happen, but they will happen. And in the southeast, in the spiritual realm, I see in the southeast, I see that we have been surrounded already in the spiritual realm. I talked a bit about it last year. And I said, let us pray about it. And you will hear the news that the southeast has been surrounded. However, the Lord said that something can be done if men pray. Because I see where we are being chased out of the land. I told you guys about that I saw a governor being tried. They tried to assassinate the governor. You heard the news that a particular governor fled from a particular assassination that was about to take place. I believe some of these prophecies are the reason why they took down my page on YouTube. Allow me to believe. Yes. But there were so many things I said that I didn't want to push them out there. I just left them there as evidence and witnesses. In these last days, I told you I had a vision in 2019. I went to a bank, and while I was in that bank, I told them to give us money. I had the ability to appear and disappear. So I appeared in the place. I went to the bank. They were not confused or flabbergasted that I was able to disappear and appear. And I came there, I asked them to give us money so that we can get food. That was what I saw in the dream. And I was telling them. And I told them, I can heal the sick. Give me my money. It's my money that was in the bank that was locked. I came to withdraw. That was when I understood what God was trying to do about cryptocurrencies. I'm not talking about it, but listen to what I'm saying. And then they couldn't allow me to withdraw. And then they noticed that I didn't have the mark. And then they called for the robots to come and arrest me. And then when I told them, I said, I can make this cripple work. They said, we have drugs that can make them work. I told you guys that they were going to develop a drugs. That's what I saw in the dream, in the vision. It was a drug. But now, I heard now that there was a particular thing that was injected into a blind man, and the man could see now. A man that was born blind by birth. But in that vision, what I saw was a drug. So it's obvious that maybe they can still grow it into a tablet later. I saw drug was injected. The man took it and the man started walking. And they said, there's nothing you can do that our drugs cannot do. And then when they came to seize me, I disappeared. And I appeared in the cave of where fellow believers were. And they said, man of God, did you bring any food? I said, even with my power that we could heal the sick, they did not permit me. So I knew God was using that scenario to tell me a story. That a time will come, cash will fail. I told you guys about agriculture. I told you since 2018, prepare. 2019, every year I was shouting about agriculture. And now finally, you heard about GMO. Finally, you are seeing scarcity of food happening. But I told you. The worst thing that can happen to any of us is the fact that we heard but we didn't prepare. Somebody said, man of God, you are talking about solar, that everybody should go and get solar. I told you, go and get solar if you can. There are solar 750,000. There are solars 1 million naira. Buy the one you can buy, but let it be powered by sun. Try and go for something like Starlink's internet, because they will shut down your network. They will shut down your network. They will shut it down. And then there will be darkness in the land. They will do evil. The light will still come up, but they will do evil. And someone say, man of God, instead of you to be interceding and pray, no. You see, when the prophecy came for the Egyptians in Egypt, when they told them that there's going to be famine, 7 years of plenty and 7 years of none, he didn't tell them to pray and fast to cancel it. He said, prepare. God did not even tell them prepare. It was the interpretation that Joseph gave that made them to prepare. So when one is come, it's for you to prepare. The funny things about believers is that they hear the prophets of God, they do nothing about it. The unbelievers hear the prophecies of God and they prepare for it. One of the things we need to ask is God for spiritual discernment. Spiritual discernment. We are going to have the last wealth transfer, the last shifting of wealth. Is the last flow of it. The last. It will happen for the season. And the door will be shut for a long time. Oh. See, I don't know. How is it that famine, there's a prophecy about famine coming, and demons are still holding the little one you are trying to hold safe? Upon the general famine, they come. How can we allow such? You see what is happening in the country, ba? The way you are seeing, it looks like by all means that the one we expect to win will not win. By every force is showing that P2B does not have a chance. You see, this is when God shows himself. Last year we believed because everything was pointing that he was the one. But we now removed the factor of God and pointed to a man. And the table turned. You see, when all odds are against you, rejoice. Because one with God is majority. I don't know how. And I'm not interested on how. But let the hand of God move in a strange way.
These are the things that help you know how to live your life. So that you will be strategically positioned in the last days. And so the point I'm making is, number one, there will be what? There will be great deception. So you need discernment. Number two, there will be what? Wars and rumors of war. So you need to have spiritual understanding so that fear will not kill you. Because many will be in trouble and many will be fearful. And the reason they will live like that is because they are reading the news in the natural, not the news in the spirit. If all you hear is CNN and BBC, you will die of fear. But in addition to CNN and BBC, you need to hear breaking news from heaven. Because it's the breaking news from heaven that will keep you at peace, even in the midst of trouble. And so when you find the people who don't have access to spiritual knowledge, they will become victims because most of the decisions they will take will be born out of anxiety. And many times when you take decisions out of anxiety, you'll be wrong. Because the necessary intelligence required to fortify that decision will not be there. Anxiety makes you unstable. Number three, Jesus said there will be famine. And that means food will be attacked. And because food will be attacked, you need to become very intelligent around investments. That's why I spoke about investment. You need to know what to do. In fact, we need to begin to trust God as we fast and pray. That people should no longer just pray for 10 hours. While they are praying for 10 hours, they need innovative minds. We live in Africa where food is surplus. The whole world is looking into Africa. Because Africa now is like raw material. And we can't process nothing. When the famine comes, where are the technocrats? When famine was to come in Egypt, Joseph rose up and began to give them strategy of processing and preservation. And so this is a time where somebody needs to know what to do to Gari. That you can store Gari for 7 years. And you know what to do to Gari to increase its content. So when you take 5 spoons of Gari, it can satisfy you. Because food will become a weapon. The locusts will come and eat the food. And the point will come when they will tell you, before you eat, you will take a mark. You may be able to stand and say, I will die of hunger. But when you have a son, like I do, and you don't know what to do, you won't be able to see that boy die. And so in order for you not to come into a tight place where you are forced to make a decision that you won't naturally consent to, you need to develop strategies. And so people must become master investors, and we must also develop intelligence around processing. This is not the time to waste. You come to certain families, bread is open there, beans is open there, water is running. That's an anti-spirit. It's against the age. This is not a time to waste. This is a time to preserve and also to go beyond preserving to processing. People must begin to think on how to convert things and make them more effective. That's the age that we are in. But if you don't know this, many nations of the world are coming to Africa. They are buying seedlings from us. They are developing technology on how to hybridize it and give it more value so that it can last with them. And so they can use it, because the time will come when, if the attack comes, you will not have food to eat. And instead of the Africans to think intelligently on how to interact with food, all we are interested in is immediate gratification. Somebody will load 20 trucks of yam from Zakibian straight to Port Harcourt and sell all. And he has been farming yam for 20 years. He knows nothing about yam. All he does is to farm it and sell it, and collects more money and put in the pocket, and God has blessed him. Because we don't know we are in the last days. Our approach to life is wrong. And so when Jesus was teaching, he was equipping us against the times that we are in.
You've just listened to a kingdom truth meant to strengthen your faith and realign your walk with God. These messages are shared to preserve sound doctrine, deepen spiritual understanding, and raise believers who stand firm in truth. If this teaching blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and let the light of God's word spread. Subscribe to Kingdom Updates TV for consistent, spirit-filled teachings, powerful prayers, and timely revelations for this generation. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss what God is saying in this season. Remain rooted, stay watchful, and keep growing in grace. Until next time, stay aligned with the kingdom.